Hello everyone. Welcome to our Protein Awareness webinar, Protein Matters, Myths, Facts, and Everyday Choices, organized by the U.S. Soybean Export Council's Right to Protein campaign in collaboration with Sujan International Super Vegan. In this session, you will learn about simple and practical tips on how you can increase your protein intake, and you will also learn about local protein-rich food sources that are both animal-based and plant-based. We will also help you clear out some of the protein myths that you may have heard of. There's something exciting. If you wait till the end of the webinar, you will be awarded with an e-certificate of participation. We will be dropping a link in your chat box at the end of the session, so make sure you watch out for that. So without wasting any more time, let's welcome Dr. Charithe Gallage to lead the session.
Good evening. So whenever you tell about proteins, if someone says proteins, what comes to your mind? Someone going to the gym, bulked up, having protein shake. This is the idea which is given to the society about proteins. But what actually this protein is? Protein is a macronutrient which is essential to sustain life. Since you started as a single cell inside your mother's womb, up to the full growth as an infant, up to the full growth as an adult, your structure is made by your macronutrients, and proteins play an essential part in your growth, development, and many more. So let's start the discussion about proteins. So we'll be doing a small presentation about proteins and their uses, and then we'll end up with a question and answering session. So if you have any problems, you can put your questions to the chat box. So what are proteins? Proteins are a macronutrient which is essential for your life. And the building block or the building block of proteins are amino acids. So these are complex chemicals which will join with each other, bonding to create different shapes, different types, different sizes of proteins that will do many tasks inside your body. So proteins are found throughout your body, starting from your hair to your toenails. Your whole body is made up of proteins. So what do we know about this building block of proteins? Think about proteins like Legos. So everyone knows building blocks, everyone knows about the Legos. So these are made up of smaller molecules. The smallest molecule which has characteristics of a protein is an amino acid. So there are about 20 amino acids, out of which 9 are known as essential amino acids. Essential amino acids means your body cannot produce them on its own. The rest of the 9 amino acids your body can produce using the essential amino acids. The key point here is all these 9 amino acids should be taken into your body through your food. So food is your only source of these 9 essential amino acids. All the other can be produced using these essential amino acids. What does protein do in your body? Everyone knows about muscles, going to the gym, building your muscles, looking smart, six packs, everyone talks about it. But I'm going to tell you certain things that you don't know about the proteins. First of all, thinking about the muscles, all the muscles starting from skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, and the muscles in your heart are made up of different types of proteins. Then when you take your skin, your hair, and nails, everything, all the structures are created by mainly proteins and some portions of carbohydrates, lipids, lipoproteins, and many other structures. Then your body repairing is done mainly by proteins. Just have you encountered any kind of abrasion, a wound, any kind of a cut injury? Have you undergone any kind of surgery? Have you ever thought how your body creates the normal tissue back again, which is done by a scar tissue formation? This scar tissue formation is done by a protein known as collagen. And also the enzymes and hormones. Enzymes will be acting on the substrates and enhancing the actions, the chemical reactions which are done in your body. So if you have learnt about the chemical reactions, the whole body is run by chemical reactions. So enzymes are everywhere, starting from your cells, starting from your brains, and going into your body, into your gut system, into your stomach, the digestion of food, and many things are done using these enzymes. Most of them are proteins. Then the hormones. The hormones are, there are lot of protein hormones, amino acid derivative hormones, as well as lipid hormones. So the hormones are functioning as the messenger molecules in your body. You know, your body works, the messenger system works first of all as nerves, then the second part as hormones. Then the immunity system. The immune system is the system which is keeping you safe from the invading bacteria, viruses, protozoa, fungi, and many kind of invaders into your body. So your immune system will be signaling each other using proteins as well as making antibodies to kill or attack the invaders. Then talking about the energy, or protein can be used as a source of energy other than the carbohydrates and fat, which can produce ATP, which is the global currency of energy of human. How protein can look like in your daily diet. So we will divide proteins into plant-based proteins as well as the animal-based proteins. So there are many plant-based proteins that you have never thought of. If we take dal, lentils, there's about 9 to 10 grams of protein in a cooked portion of 100 grams of dal. If you take chickpeas, about 100 grams chickpeas will have 19 grams of proteins. This is a considerable amount of proteins that you have never thought of. And when you take soybeans, it will have about 36 grams of proteins per 100 grams of cooked soybeans. Cowpeas will be having 25 grams per 100 grams. Then sesame seeds or thala will have 18 grams per 100 grams. And green gram, also known as mung beans or mung atta, will be having 24 grams per 100 grams of cooked mung. So these are really good protein sources if you are a vegetarian or a vegan, and even if you have lactose intolerance, which you cannot use any kind of milk-based products, you can always go for the plant-based proteins. When you think about the animal products which are giving you proteins, we'll take eggs. It has about 6 grams of protein in a medium-sized egg. And chicken will be having 31 grams per cooked breast, 100 grams, and fish about 20 grams per 100 grams. Curd will be having about 15 grams, milk will be having about 8 grams, and yogurt will be having 3 grams of protein per 100 grams. So these are the products which are animal based, will be giving you proteins and amino acids. Let's talk about your protein plate. We always talk about a balanced diet and a healthy diet. The problem with Sri Lankan dietary system is our plate consists about 50 to 60%, sometimes 80% will be by carbohydrates, which is mostly rice. But this is not the system that you should be making your plate. The way to plate up your food is about 50% should be fruits and vegetables, 25% should be fiber-rich carbohydrates. So when you're picking up carbohydrates, always go for the fiber-rich carbohydrates other than highly processed, poor carbohydrates. Then 25% of your plate should be proteins. You can, depending on the availability to begin with, or your preferences, meal preferences, you can go for either plant-based proteins or animal-based proteins. We highly advise you to go for a variety of proteins, starting from animal-based to plant-based and all types of proteins, to make sure that you get all the essential amino acids in your diet. Let's talk about chicken kottu. So people think, if I'm to eat chicken, why don't I go and eat my favorite cheese and chicken kottu? Yes, you can have the amount of essential amino acids by having at least 90 grams or maybe 100 grams of chicken in your chicken kottu. But the point here that you have to be concerned is whether it's safe, whether it is giving you good and bad nutrients into your body. We always talk about the trans fats and bad fats and all sorts of bad nutrients which are coming into your body. So kottu is a good source of proteins if the right amount of protein is used, but it's also a good source of bad fats which are like trans fats, because in the processing of this food they add a lot of oils, lot of low quality oils which will be giving really bad fats into your body. So we highly recommend you to go for natural sources, natural home cooked and plant-based and animal-based proteins which are lacking the bad fats. So always go for home cooked food. What happens if you don't get enough proteins? So if you are not getting enough proteins, your body cannot produce enough muscle mass in your body. So you'll having a muscle wasting. Then you will be always fatigued, tired, and you will lose your focus, as well as your immune system will be weakened and you tend to get into more infections and you keep on getting sick all the time. And also you will get iron deficiencies, anemias, and all sorts of diseases if you are lacking proteins in your food. So what happens if your children doesn't get enough proteins? So their development will be delayed, their growth will be delayed, and then their focus, energy, immune system, and everything will be affected. So what does protein do to your brain health? So there are many things that are done by the proteins to begin with. First of all, the neurotransmitter production. So most of the neurotransmitters which are made inside our brain as well as our peripheral nervous system are made up of proteins, and that will have a direct effect on your cognitive health. So eating the right amount of protein, having the right balance of proteins and the most essential amino acids taking into your body is essential to have a proper cognitive health. Signs of low protein intake and brain effects. So you losing your cognitive function, you losing your mental and emotional health would be signs of lack of proteins. If you are not taking enough proteins, your concentration will be gone, your mental health will be affected, as well as your cognitive functions, your higher functions of your brain would be affected, on top of the effects that you see in your body and muscles. Do you even need that protein shake? This is a hype which is created where people think that if you are going to a gym, you should always have a protein shake. This is not the case, because if you are eating the right amount of proteins in your diet as natural food, which are animal or plant based, these protein shakes are not essential unless you are doing this as a professional bodybuilding sport. For anyone who's going to a gym just for the cardiac health, just to be healthy, just to lose some fat, the protein shakes are not essential. The concept of complete proteins, as I told you, the amino acids, there are 9 essential amino acids. All the proteins which are containing all the 9 amino acids, 9 essential amino acids are known as complete proteins. So most of the animal proteins are known as complete proteins. And when you take the plant-based proteins, soy is known as a complete protein because soy will be giving you all the 9 essential amino acids. And most of the other plant-based proteins are not complete proteins, but we advise you to mix and match them. For example, if you eat rice and dal, that will give you a complete protein meal. So we'll talk about the myths which are found in the society about proteins. Protein rich foods are expensive, can't afford to eat a high protein diet. So if you go for the expensive proteins, that's the case, but there are many cheaper options which are available in the market that will give you enough proteins for your growth and development. So going for the expensive proteins is your option, but even for cheaper options are available in the market to give you enough proteins. More proteins means bigger muscles. Eat proteins as much as possible. So this is a myth which we find among the young males especially. So guys think that if you eat more proteins and you will build your muscles. This is not the case. Doing more exercises, going to the gym, doing the resistance training will build your muscles, and eating a slightly increased amount of proteins will help only if you do exercises. If you just stay home, play with your phone and eat a lot of proteins, then you will be gaining the fat, because this excess amount of proteins will be converted into fat and stored in your body. Eating protein will make your kidneys fail. Unless you have a kidney disease, already diagnosed kidney disease, unless you have diabetes, hypertension and you are really old, a young kidney can handle a normal amount of proteins and slightly increased amount of proteins. So you don't have to worry about eating proteins if you are young and healthy, unless you are diagnosed with a kidney disease. Vegetarian, vegan protein sources are inferior for muscle building. So this is another myth that is found in the society. This is not the case. If you are having all the essential amino acids as a complete meal, as I told you, even if it's coming from a vegetarian or a vegan diet, you can still build muscles. Your body stores extra protein for later use. This is another myth that we find almost always in social media and in the media. People think if you eat more proteins, that will be stored as proteins. That doesn't happen that way. The excess proteins will be broken by your liver and converted into a nitrogenous waste and a fat or a carbohydrate, or put into energy for the burning. Or else it will be stored as a fat, and you will just gain your fat if you eat too much protein. How much protein do you need? So here we have given you a QR code which you can scan and go into the website, where you will be directed to a proteinometer. In that proteinometer, you can just put your initials or your name, your gender, your age, your height and your weight, and all the details you can enter into that. And then once you give the calculation, it will show you how much protein you need per day. All right, so our purpose, why protein awareness matter in Sri Lanka? So why are we doing this program today? So we'll talk about it. So until then, if you have any questions that you need to ask about proteins, food or anything, you can just type it in our chat box and we will attend to it soon. Sri Lanka was ranked the second in South Asia for wasting among children under 5 during the economic crisis. So this was a large controversial topic which was brought about a while ago, and this created a huge turbulence in the system, because Sri Lanka is known for its really good health system. But to find out, Sri Lanka being ranked among the second in malnutrition was a huge problem. So there are cities, there are villages, there are areas, there are schools where children have no idea about these proteins or energy or healthy diet, because we tend to go into the snacking, or we tend to go into all the unhealthy food habits. So that's why we have started this protein awareness campaign, to teach everyone about proteins and how to eat a healthy protein rich diet. Deficiencies in some nutrients may pose significant challenges in Sri Lanka. So this is a study which was published in 2024. It says dietary intake is inadequate for most micronutrients across young children, adolescents and adults. So this is another topic that we need to address, about the micronutrients, where the young children tend to go for snacks and unhealthy food habits where their micronutrient intake is poor. So our purpose is to close this nutritional gap. So more awareness means closing the gap between malnutrition, and the malnutrition does not necessarily mean you are not eating enough. Malnutrition means you are not eating right. You are not getting the right amount of micro and macronutrients. Even if you eat, even if your tummy is full, if you are not eating a balanced diet, if you are not getting proper balanced diet, that is known as malnutrition. So we can move on to the question and answering. If you have any questions, you can just type it in our chat box. Anything that you need to know about the proteins, the supplements, the muscle building, or anything related to protein and amino acids and your body, you can just type it in. We are more than happy to answer your questions. Is it okay? We have a question. Is it okay to take plant-based protein powder to fill the gap of daily protein intake? Yes. Can you explain about cysteine? All right. Yeah. Now, Chandralal Kalansuri is asking, can you explain about cysteine? Cysteine is an amino acid. So, there are many things that we need to talk about cysteine. That's a different topic. We'll talk about it. And the next question is it okay to take plant-based protein powder to fill the gap of daily protein intake? Yeah. Now, any type of protein powder, first of all, you have to be sure what is it made of. Any type of protein powder, that you have to find out the source of this protein powder. So the best protein, the plant-based protein powder that we could recommend, that everyone know, is soy milk powder, because soya is well known as a plant-based protein, which is a complete protein and which has a considerable amount of protein in it. So if you are using soy-based milk powder or soy-based plant-based protein powders, that is considered as healthy. So whenever you are thinking about the protein powders, and in the society, in the market, there are many protein products and many collagen products, many products that are available. My advice is, first of all, the company which is producing it has to be a reliable one to begin with. And the next thing is, always read the label and see the production process and the contents of it. Because most of the times what they do is, they'll be selling a really types of proteins and label it, especially about the collagens. No one has asked about the collagens. It's become a hype in the society right now. Wants to know creatine and whey protein, having these in the condition with diabetes, how it affects. Okay, so the problem is with creatine and protein. If you have diabetes, first of all, you have to meet your diabetologist, endocrinologist, and get your that, because with to function. If that's the case, if you can, as well as body will be nitrogen based, the renal failure will be renal failure will be worse. So anyone who's take creatine and protein products, and if you have diabetes, better talk to your doctor, get yourself tested first. Okay, we have another question. How does protein requirement change during illness? Good question. Usually we say, now if you go to our proteinometer, the normal protein requirement for body to function is when you are recovering from an illness into a state, producing markers, inflammatory, and your body's protein requirement will be slightly increased. That's a question. There are some ones. All right. So yeah, cysteine. So L-cysteine is a product called N-acetylcysteine, which we use in the medical setting, giving those for the people coming with liver failure, anything to do with liver, we give N-acetylcysteine in the hospital setting. L-cysteine is known as an antioxidant, and there are many products that are promoting this for health, anti-aging, and many benefits. There are researchers. At this particular point, I cannot promote cysteine used in the society without advice. So if you concern any concerns, because a lot of people are using these gluten, everything from medical. Should we get same amount of protein in daily? Yes, in the sense you can slightly increase or decrease every day, but the target should be if you go to a proteinometer and get the protein content calculated, it's ideal to take that minimum amount of protein. Even if you take a little bit higher dose, that won't affect you unless you have a problem in your liver and kidney. Can vegetarians or vegans do a keto diet? Very good question, Anupama. This is a little difficult but possible, because keto diet, when you talk about the keto diet, the main source of energy is not proteins. Main source of energy is fat. you are targeting on a large dose of fat, and you have to incorporate vegetables and you have to incorporate protein. So the easiest protein to incorporate is animal-based proteins, because animal-based proteins has a very carbohydrates. If you are a vegetarian, then the problem comes when you incorporate a vegetarian protein, then carbohydrate in your, I'm talking about like in detail, especially in my TikTok channel, the keto diet, the target is to keep your carbohydrates. So if you things like lentils or things like rice or anything like even soya beans, the problem is you'll be out of carbohydrate ketogenesis. How does protein requirement change during illness? Does cooking change? Okay, a process will denature protein to a certain extent. Much of a problem, because what the body do, smaller amino acids, smaller peptides, and absorbing it into your body. The problem here is, like, actually that would not, if you cook it, body needs the amino acids, not the protein itself. Camel protein levels in blood urine may point to underlying conditions, infection risk. Okay, abnormal proteins, if you talk about abnormal proteins in the blood, that's a huge topic. Because there are, starting from albumin, different types of, there are, so that's a huge. So if you have any problem, some high in your urine or blood, you should meet your doctor test, then we won't be time. So infection, or inflammatory condition, or it's some, or it could be even a cancer. Meet your doctor, which is increased. Can for Greek yogurt protein nutrition? Yes, Greek yogurt is known as, and the problem is when you are selecting yogurt, whether yogurt, because now making yogurt has become just adding gelatin to milk powder. So that is not the good practice, correct? First, would you recommend to check the body nutrition level that are lacking? So in the short time, I would not be able to teach you about the nutrition levels, compare like when you're talking about the low BS. Best thing is, it's a subspecialty nutritionist. There are consultant medical nutritionists. Go there, get an appointment, or go to a clinic in the nearest hospital, talk to the consultant nutritionist, and get yourself tested. Most likely, you could be protein or a macro or a micronutrient deficiency. Best thing is to talk with your doctor. How much protein do you be? Okay. How does protein requirement change? Is protein intake by egg protein is sufficient, but the problem is a medium size egg will be having only 8 grams, 6 grams, so 8 grams. If you are a 50 gram adult, your protein requirement would be per day about 45 grams. So you have to increase the amount of eggs that you eat. How much protein do I need based on my weight and level? Please go to the proteinometer, which is provided in our webinar. You can simply calculate that. There is a fasting blood homocysteine which could diagnose sensitive detection of future heart rate as well, but is not considered as a profile. I wonder whether you will touch this topic. Yes, yes, this is the, depending on the crowd, it is a bit difficult to describe all topics like homocysteine, fasting test, and the heart attack risk assessment. I will definitely just follow us on our social media. We will definitely teach you about those in short videos. Does your carnivore diet, type of diet, provided eating meat, because how the original Liver King's carnivore diet came to society, because high chance of infections. Into a high protein diet, yes, keto diet is recommended, but do not go into raw meat kind of diets. But carnivore diet, provided that you are doing amount of physical activity, then it's healthy to do. But you are having kind of medical disease that your doctor. All right, many questions coming up. I think the time is also running out. So we will clear the first part of the session and we'll move on to the second part of the session. I invite you all to keep with us for this. Any question that you all in our social media and ask, then we will teach you further. So much.
Thank you, Dr. Charithe Gallage, for that insightful session. Now you just witnessed the proteinometer tool. If you would like to test it out on your friends, family, work buddies, or anyone else, head on over to our website www.brighterprotein.com and scroll to the proteinometer tool, where you can test it out as you wish. Now next up, we have something exciting. Mr. Vikum Nissanka of Sujan International Super Vegan will be coming on live to to tell you all about soy milk and the benefits of it as a plant-based alternative. So let's hear it from him. But before we proceed, make sure you check out in the chat box the link that we will be sharing with you for you to claim your e-certificate. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Vikum Nissanka.
Good evening. Now, as a second session of this program, we'll go forward to understand the benefits of plant protein. During the first session, Doctor explained all about proteins and lots about the protein. But for this session, we'll try to move forward on plant-based proteins. Here, as explained very clearly at the first session, there are 9 essential amino acids required. Then these 9 amino acids is coming as a complete protein. When the plant proteins, when we consider plant protein, soya protein is the complete protein because soya contains all these 9 essential amino acids which should come from the food. Okay. Then when we look at this 9 essential amino acid profile, we see how could this soya protein contribute to that. Soya protein, as Doctor explained, 31% of protein comes from cooked soya. Then within this soya protein, all the 9 essential amino acids are included. Here, then, all the 9 essential amino acids included in soya protein. It seems soya protein is the complete protein. When we compare these certain factors in soya proteins together with the animal protein, soya protein can be considered as complete protein. And when we consider about the cholesterol, it is almost 0. The most important part of soya protein is the next is the dietary fiber. Soya protein contains heavy amount of dietary fibers, where it is very lower in animal protein. No, we can always say no. Why we need dietary fibers? That is mostly for the gut health, digestive health, to lower the cholesterol, to manage the body weight. For all these most important health factors, this dietary fiber is required. For the gut health, when we consider the gut health, it acts as a prebiotic to feed your healthy bacteria in the guts. And when we consider digestive support and to reduce the cholesterol constipations, it is must. It is the dietary fiber is serving a major part in that factor. And when we consider antioxidants, wider varieties of antioxidants are included in soy protein, starting from vitamin C, flavonoid. All these type of antioxidants are included, where a distinct set of antioxidants are included in animal proteins. Then digestibility and absorption. Soya protein digestion speed is moderate. Then being moderate, having the moderate digestion speed, it's give some added advantages, because it's release the proteins steadily and facilitating the proper absorptions. It is not too slow like casein, and it is not too fast, which can have a increase in say insulin release. Then some research findings says this diets with high plant protein, it is as supporting for the heart health, lowering the LDL, it means bad cholesterol, then lowering the 2 types of diabetics. It means plant protein, it means mostly soya protein, it means where the highest protein content is available when we consider all these plant and meat foods is supporting to the health like this. And the next is this, when we consider soya protein, it is extremely versatile. You can find it in different ways in terms of the food. Then it comes as meat analogues. It is available in the market as burgers, nuggets and sausages. And it means meat analogues. Then it is available in the market as dairy alternates. Soya milk in liquid milk format or the powder milk format, and as in yogurts. Then the third is the protein supplements or protein powders made of this soya protein. It means it is very versatile and available in different formats in the market. Then the very significant finding is this consumer demand in plant protein had been projected to reach to 77 billions by 2030. Say the next is this, we will discuss about soy protein as a summary. The summary, it says soy protein is a complete protein supplement and rich in dietary fiber. Cholesterol is 0. It supports heart health and environmental impact is low, and ethical, when we go towards ethical concerns, is again plant protein is provide a benefit. Then why do we need to talk about soy milk powder? Then we saw the one question also came about soy milk, the milk powder, protein as a milk powder. Then soy milk powder is the most richest protein source, one of the protein source. Soy milk is nutritious beverage that is lower in the cholesterol, it's high in protein and rich in several vitamins and minerals. Drinking soya milk improve your cholesterol, then improve your good cholesterol levels, reduce high blood pressure and support weight losses. And it means weight in terms of the weight management, it gives you additional benefits. Then soya milk powder is a very good suitable protein source for the vegetarians and vegans. It's high protein. Say if we consider milk, dairy milk powder, we cannot consider it as a high protein source. It means high protein source milk powder is soy milk powder, which is alternate to the dairy milk powder. And one of the most important factor is it caters the lactose intolerance. It is lactose free product. Then we know lactose intolerance is becoming a critical issue among the community, those who cannot take dairy products, milk powder or any other dairy products. Then this lactose intolerance can be overcome by using this soy milk powder. It means this is the alternate for the lactose intolerance related milk powders. Then we as a company, Sujan International, we offers different type of soy milk powder in the market. Then you can find out under the brand name of Super Vegan, soy milk powder in the plain version and different variants, vanilla, chocolate, malt, choco malt, or in mango, pineapple, fruit flavors, and even the Faluda. So Faluda is a special version. Then when you are preparing the Faluda drink at home, you need the milk. But here you don't need any milk. You can just dissolve this Faluda milk, soy milk powder in cold water. This become a Faluda drink. These products are available in all the modern trade kiosks, Food City, Cargill, Spa, and in pharmacy chains as well. So our company is Sujan International, is 20 years old company, has a ISO 22000 system certified company, an award-winning company for the for last 20 years. We are located in industrial zone in Homagama. You can reach to us from there or from supermarket for our products, and you can purchase this product, our soya milk powder product, through our web. When you go to our site here, from today onwards for the 2 weeks, we are offering you, those who are participating for this session, a promotion. Say this, under the coupon number, you can include this, the word super, capital S, double OPR, then you can get down a free delivery. It means we will not charge you for the delivery charges, and product price also around 28 to 30% lower than the market price. Coming 2 weeks up to 8th October from today onward, you can get this promotion benefits when you are trying to purchase through our web. Here also, either this place also, you can use our coupon number and purchase this product. Thank you.
A very big thank you to Dr. Charithe Gallage and Mr. Vikum Nissanka for being a part of our protein awareness webinar, Protein Matters, Myths, Facts and Everyday Choices. Now here's what you have to do next. Head on over to our Instagram page, Write a Protein South Asia, and take part in the protein challenges posted as stories. They're designed to be fun, interactive and engaging to test your knowledge on today's learnings. Now, if you haven't already, do check out the chat box for the link that can help you claim your e-certificate. On behalf of US Soybean Exports Council's Right to Protein campaign and Sujan International Super Vegan, I would like to thank you for your participation. Stay healthy, eat smart, it's your right to protein.